Hello, hello. All you need is your small Pilates ball. Again, this is about a 6-inch. It can be a 6-inch, 8-inch, 10-inch, depending on the exercise. When rolling back, a bigger ball, if you've got a longer torso and need more support, is kind of nice. When we do extension work, a bigger ball is going to cause more extension and might be uncomfortable. For thoracic openers, when you lie over it, bigger ball is going to give you more opening and be more aggressive. So it's always a bit of a game. General rule of thumb, 6 inches is a nice size. So start your feet in parallel sits bones or a little wider. Excuse me. And just start that gentle rocking back and forth. Think of the connection from the pubic bone to the belly button up to the rib cage, and just roll those shoulders back. So we're elevating, retracting, protracting, depressing, just kind of gliding the shoulder blades, and then go ahead and roll them the other way. And again, inhale nose, exhale mouth, and then just release that off. Start with the ball just in one hand going one direction. Inhale as it comes up, switch the ball at the top, and then round the spine as you come down and switch the ball. Inhale up, and exhale, rolling and going down. And the depth of the down is up to you. As you start to come up, maybe lift the heart a little bit more and really think peel. Instead of just coming down squat, think peel vertebrae by vertebrae. Now switch directions on the arm movement here. Inhale and lift, and exhale and roll it down. And one more time, inhale and lift. Exhale and roll it down. On the roll down, roll up part way, slide that ball kind of into pubic bone belly button area, push it a little bit with your hands, and fold your body over the ball. Now you can rest your elbows. If you're okay, you can let them dangle. Let your head dangle, and think of opening up the rib cage as you float over that ball. And just think forward breathing here. So we're going to inhale nose, exhale mouth, 2 more, inhale nose, exhale mouth, so really big breaths, 1 more, inhale nose, and on the exhale mouth, grab that ball as you slowly roll up, reach it, and sneak it into the nook of the neckline. And then I'm just going to draw my elbows in tighter, and from here, I'm just going to reach those elbows up to the sky, causing a little bit of extension in the spine, and then come back to my neutral. And I'm just going to inhale and lift. So if you can tuck your elbows in, you will get a little more lift and a little extra tricep stretch, and then bring it back. And again, inhale, lift. Now when you lift, watch it's not your pubic bone going forward. It's your thoracic and cervical lengthening. And bring it back and give me 1 more. Inhale and just lift that heart. And exhale, reach those arms, bring it all the way around, and just roll those shoulders. So give yourself a wider shoulder width distance, and just hold that ball and give a little bicep curl as you add your squat. So we are neutral spine, neutral pelvis. We're just, sorry, I got the hiccups. We're just sitting that booty back as we go up and down. The depth of it only goes low to where you don't feel your tailbone tucking, right? You can keep that neutral going. Now hold down and pulse. 5, 4, little bicep crunch as you're doing your little legs. 3, get your booty back. 2, 1, bring it up. Let's go again. Just looking for some big movements, get some heat going. Let's go. 5, 4, 3, 2, and on this one, round it down, place that ball down, and straighten out those legs. Let your head dangle at the bottom of your spine, and then inhale, come back into that nice strong squat. So we're in our squat again. Head is lifted, long torso, and then exhale, round down, and inhale and squat, and 2 more, round down, inhale and squat, and give me 1 more, round down, and then slight bend to the knees, roll that up, roll those shoulders a little bit, inhale, exhale, big circle to the sky, lift the heart, bring that all the way down and lower it, rock those shoulders a little bit. So on this one, hold the ball, bring yourself more sits bones feet, hold the ball just in front, hips square to me, and just give me a little rotation here. Watch the pelvis doesn't go with it. And then inhale, bring it back. Inhale, rotate. Exhale, bring it back. Inhale, rotate. Exhale, center. One more time for me. Inhale, rotate. Exhale, center, and we're going to add flexion to it. So inhale, rotate, and then just kind of push that ball out a bit as you round the spine into a bit of flexion. Stack it to tall, and derotate. Go again. Inhale, rotate. Feel that little bit of flexion. Maybe push that ball out a bit. Stack it to tall, and derotate. Beautiful. Reach the ball out. Keeping it in your hands, sorry, I've got the camera a little too close today, and I want you to laterally flex. So you're keeping both hands holding on to the ball, and then use your obliques to come up. Inhale, tick-tock to the other side. Exhale, come up. One more time. Inhale, big tick-tock. Think of taking this top hand and reaching it a little farther on that ball, and then using your obliques to pull yourself up. And then last time, tick-tock over, take that top hand, reach it a little farther, and then bring it up. So let's go over on this time. Keep the top arm reaching, drop the bottom arm. Circle that at the bottom. Inhale, exhale. And then circle the other direction. Then take that ball, place it on your hip, and push your hips a little out to the side as you side glide into the hip. And then actively bring that out. Reach it up. Let's go over to the other side. Reach that actively. Take the ball into the bottom hand. Stir the pot. Look down. Get a little bit of movement in the neck. Now stir the other way. This is non-mechanical, so just let it float. Now slide that ball into your pelvis or the side of your hip and just push that off. Now if you're jamming your knees to straight, squeezing your bum and pulling your abs in tight, you're not going to get much pelvis glide. So relax off that muscle joint group. Nice big breath here. And then bring it all the way back up. Beautiful. Sneak that ball just towards the front of your mat, and let's come to the end of the mat and just get some movement here. Starting at the end, reach the arms, round the corner, hollow out your abdomen. Get your hands, if you need a kneel pad, grab it. Walk it out in 4, 3, knees go down on 2 and 1. Uncurl your toes, spread out your fingers, pull your shoulders into your back pockets, drop it down and push it away for some sternum drops. So we're in neutral spine, neutral pelvis, and we're just moving through our scapula. Let's go 2 more, push away, and 1. Now stay in the pushed away, curl the toes actively. Get them underneath you. Push back into your heels, feel the stretch, and then come forward. So we're just going to push back. So just listen to the knees, hips, ankles, and your wrists. If this is uncomfortable in the wrist, you could be an ottoman on your elbow, right? And we're trying to have the toes, if you don't have bunions or arthritis, in that big toe, you're trying to get that big toe curled underneath to get a little stretch on it. Watch the sickling of the ankles, and then come forward. So let's go 1 more. And then stay in the forward, sneak that ball into the higher part of the inner thigh. Yes. From here, take an inhale, and I want you to round your spine into your angry cat, hollow your abdomen, and then push your tailbone out and lengthen through into your cow. So if your neck's okay, you're looking up and the tailbone's reaching. And then go again. Curl the spine. Now in this one, sit back. If that's too aggressive on your toes, uncurl your toes. Come back into your angry cat. Uncurl, go through your neutral and go into your cow. 1 more breath. Exhale, drop the tailbone around your spine, hollow it out. Sit back, get that little stretch. Pull it forward. Uncurl the spine, go through your neutral, find your lengthened position, and bring it back into neutral. Now just uncurl those toes and paddle out your toes a little bit. Give them a little relax. I'm just paddling my foot. And then kind of sit back and give your wrists a little roll. Now if your knees don't like that, just be taller, right? And you can be on that kneeling pad as well. Kind of relax out those hands. Hinge at the hips. We're going back down again. Take a nice curl into the toes, abs drawn in, and lift your knees an inch. Just hovering them. So if I looked at my knee and my ankle, they'd kind of be at the same height. And now I'm going to squeeze my inner thighs. Squeeze, squeeze, pulse it. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lower it down, uncurl the toes, sit back up and roll a bit. Inhale, exhale, just let everything have a little release out. And then again, that engagement through the inner thigh, hinge at the hips, down we go. One more short plank, one. Curl the toes, lift an inch. As you lift, there's no drop in the tailbone. It stays neutral spine, neutral pelvis. Belly button is pulled in, but start that from your pubic bone all the way up to your rib cage. Now squeeze the ball again. Pulse, pulse. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, let the ball drop out and either child's pose or down dog, wherever you feel like going. I'm going down dog. Alternate that little pawing at the floor if down dog is where you chose to go. Sneak your shoulders away from your ears and get some articulation. So just sort of paw at that floor like a little cat, kind of pushing into the paws. And then drop those heels and get a little deeper into your shoulders. Now, if this is too aggressive, lift the heels, bend the knees. In this position, give me a little poodle wag from left to right. Inhale, exhale. Breathe as you go. Remember, your knees can be bent and your heels could be lifted. That's fine. Come back to the center position, rise up and lower. Rattle that out. Bring yourself tall, put the ball just in front of you. We're going to do a little cat-cow to a little thigh stretch. So have a small lateral rotation. So instead of being perfectly parallel, have a little bit of lateral rotation in your hips. So if you kind of look through, my feet would be more together than straight behind my knees. Now, if you're not really tight in the quad, you could go parallel. Parallel for most people is a little tighter than lateral. We're going to reach our arms up. Come around the corner by hollowing the abdomen. Find the ball. If you need to, you can sit back. Ideally, stay forward. Push that ball out until you feel you can't push anymore. And then let your hands gently roll out on it. Drop down into your chest here. Big breath. And then drop your tailbone heavy, vertebrae by vertebrae. Roll it up, and you just roll that ball in. Leave the ball down there. Rib, hips stay nice and strong, and just lean back in your thigh. And then bring that up. So a little add-on here if you're feeling comfortable with it. Lean back in your thighs. Lift your heart. Open the chest a bit. Bring that back in. Pull it forward. And let's roll it through again. So up you go, down into the ball. Roll it out. Little cat-cow. Stretch into your shoulders. Then drop your tailbone heavy, curl it all the way in. And if you want, you can keep that ball in your hands this time. A little bit of a rib hip check so the glutes are turned on. Lie back in your thighs. Open your chest line. Big breath here. Bring your chest back in. Pull it all the way forward. Beautiful. Slide that ball just off to the side. Hands nice and strong underneath your shoulders and hips right stacked over your knees. Take an inhale, and I'm just going to face the front here. All I want you to do is take your one arm and cross it. Watch as you cross, you didn't dip. Right, so stay pushing into that hand like you've got power there. And then bring that hand down without a big shift. Bring the other arm up and bring it down. Just one more time on each. Arm comes across and it comes down. Arm comes across and it comes down. Now, instead of having the arm come across, reach the arm out for a low handshake. Keep your shoulder into your back pocket, but still push away so you didn't rotate your chest. Bring that hand down, and low handshake on the other side. One more time on each. You should feel Miss America sash coming across your torso, turn on. And bring it down, push away with power. Handshake. Bring it down. Now take the attention to the lower half. Push one leg out. I want it all the way straight, but the toe is still down. So the leg is as straight as you can. Now lift that leg without arching the back. And then slide it all the way in. Push the other foot out. Squeeze the glute. Lift it. Glide it back in. Now alternating cat. One arm, opposite leg. No movement happens in your back. Push away with the hand and the knee that are on the ground. So you're powerful. And then bring it back home. Opposite. One arm, one leg. Exhale, reach. Inhale, home. This is nice and slow, guys. Exhale, reach, squeeze that booty. Inhale, home. One more time on each. Exhale, reach, push away from the floor. Inhale. So don't only focus on the arm and the leg moving, focus also on the stability of pushing away from the floor. And then bring it home. Curl those toes, lift, find your little down dog, you guys. Wiggle and play here. You can paddle the floor, you can wiggle your tailbone from left to right. Inhale, exhale, walk your hands to your feet. In 4, 3, bend the knees if you need to. Let everything dangle. And then fully bend those knees. Big inhale as we bring it all the way up. Hands down, center heart. And find yourself towards the front of your mat. Go ahead and grab that ball. So we're going to go into a lateral rotation and do some passive squats. So from here, just go as far as your knees, hips will invite. I'm going to drop down. And as I drop down, I'm going to let my tailbone kind of drop down towards, so I am rounded. Now, if this is a little tight, this is where I'm going to stay to kind of move back and forth, and then I'm going to power that up. If that feels good, I'm going to put the ball down and maybe spin up on my toes a little bit. So now I'm getting a little spinning. If I don't feel balanced with the ball, I could put the ball down and use my hands on the floor. So we're getting a little deeper into those hips, and I'm spinning myself from left to right, just opening up my hip socket a little bit more. And then go ahead and stay there. Grab that ball. Now, if you don't like this, you can just sit down, but I'm going to roll and then come back up onto my booty. So I'm going to roll back and then sit nice and tall. You got it. Scoot yourself a little farther back onto your mat. And then we're going to take that ball and we're going to put it higher in the knee joint. So my knees are open. I'm going into rolling like a ball a little bit. So it's higher in the knee joint, and then I'm going to reach down. Now, if I put the ball between my heels and my bum, really tight here, it would be more aggressive. If I put the ball higher up, my heels are not as close to my bum. It's easier on my knees and my hips. So from there, reach your hands around to your feet, and you should feel your spine is nicely rounded. Bring your toes off, and just hold this nice little balance rounding into your spine. You don't have to pull your knees in tight. You just want to gently hold. Notice if you're pulling to one side more than the other, and take a few breaths here. Now, I want you to roll back like an inch, so don't let yourself go, but roll back an inch, and feel how your abs have to hold you from falling backwards, and then roll forward a little bit. So you can barely see me move. It's more so the thought of intensifying the connection between your rib and your hip to get the sensation of rolling backwards. And you should feel a slight movement on the glute. Now, when you're ready, we are going to roll all the way back. So rolling like a ball, and then freeze. Inhale, tailbone to sky. Exhale and freeze. 2 more. Inhale, lift. Exhale, hold. And one more time. Inhale, lift. Exhale, hold. Reach those legs actively out and sit nice and tall. Yeah, so if you're not at the very back edge of your mat, kind of back up a little bit so your heels can go into your corners. Sit tall. Lower back super tight. Sit up on a block. Take the ball and just put it in towards your inner thigh, quite up high, so it just doesn't roll anywhere. And let's do a little bit of spine twist. So my arms are reaching out, but I can see them in peripheral. Palms can be down or palms can be to the sky. Thumbs to the sky, either works. We're going to inhale, rotate. Make sure your legs didn't get shorter on one side than the other. Rotate a bit more. Pull your abs in, sit tall. Rotate a little bit more, and if you can, look to the backhand. And then exhale, center. Let's go again. Inhale, rotate, sit super tall. Inhale, rotate. Do not let your legs move. Inhale, rotate. If your legs are shortening on one side, exhale, center. Your pelvis is moving. Go again. Inhale, rotate. We're trying to isolate that pelvis. Inhale, rotate. Inhale, rotate. Look to the backhand. Exhale, center, and last time. Inhale, rotate, sit tall, 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 and rotate. Rotate one more time. Back to center, release that out. And we're just going to do a little spine stretch here. We're going to lift the arms, and then the head and the thoracic spine just kind of float down. Leave that down, lift the arms, I can see them in peripheral, and I go a little deeper in my forward position. My sacrum and lumbar spine stay vertical to the earth. Rounding is thoracic and cervical. Inhale, arms lift. Go a little deeper if you can. Nice big breath here, and then stack your spine to tall. So the tendency on this one is to reach forward. I want you to think of more of a beach ball in your tummy and round over versus stretch forward. So let's do it again. Inhale up and let your head and your thoracic spine round while you're drawing the abs up and in. Inhale, lift the hands. Go a little deeper. Inhale one more time. Go a little deeper. Nice big breath here. And exhale and stack to tall. Roll those shoulders. So last rotational, arms go out to the side. We're going to have thumbs up to the sky this time. Rotate. We're going saw. Rotate as far as you can. Look to your back hand. Turn that thumb upside down. Take this hand. Cut off your knee. I'm cutting off my knee. Inhale, rotate tall. Turn your palms, thumbs up. Exhale, center. Inhale, rotate, back hand down. Exhale, saw. Inhale, tall, thumb to the sky. Exhale, center, one more time. Inhale, rotate, thumb goes down. Exhale, saw. See if you can lift that pinky a little higher to the sky with extension in the shoulder. Inhale, rotate to tall, thumb up. Exhale, center, last time, guys. Inhale, rotate, thumb down. Exhale, saw. Inhale, tall. Exhale, center, and release. Roll those shoulders. Grab that ball. Scoot yourself forward a little bit. Woo! But don't let it run away. Come back here. So this time we're going to take that ball and we're just going to put it in the lower part of the lumbar spine sacrum area. More sacrum. Kind of tuck it in there and then bring your feet into parallel sits bones. Now, here's the glitch on this. If you've got a really long torso or a long back, tucking it right in tight is not going to give you a lot of support when you round to go back, which means you might need to pull it out a little bit if you feel you want more support from the ball, okay? Having said that, if I move it out a bit and then I sit up tall, it's going to run away every single time. So you'll just have to decide whether you're going tall each time or not. Reach the arms. Legs are parallel, open as comfortable. I'm going to scoop, tuck off my sits bones. Right here, I'm rounded into the ball, but I'm not kind of hanging. I'm pulled in nice and strong, and then inhale, come tall. Exhale, scoop. Deepen, hollow the abs. Chin goes about a fist difference from your chest, and then come tall-ish. Exhale, scoop. Inhale, tall. Now, a little harder would be the hands by the headline. Exhale, scoop. So those arms and those hands are heavy. Inhale, tall. On this one, stay in the scoop, roll back, and now think rib and hip. So I'm going to lie a little longer and crunch. Inhale, exhale. So it's a small movement. Don't think lift off the ball. Think ribs to hips. Ribs a little farther from hips. So it's your thoracic and cervical that are deepening in flexion, and that might cause you to push a little farther into the ball. Go 3 more. Draw those abs in strong. 2 more. And now pulse. Make sure it's not just bobbing up and down like this. Right here, my spine's not changing at all. I want to make sure it's the change in the spine causing the crunch, which is going to fatigue out those abs. Let's go for 5. Change that spinal position. 4, ribs closer to hips. Exhale, 3. And 2. And on this last one, roll all the way up. Recovery's yours. You can straighten the legs and fold forward. You can grab behind your knees and lift your heart. Whatever feels natural for you. Or you can bend your knees and go kind of diamond roll back shape. Just watch you don't lose your ball. Couple little breaths there. And then peel to tall. So we're going to add a little oblique roll down, half oblique roll down. Tuck that in again. Arms are reaching this time. I'm going to scoop to find that roll back. So the scoop stays exactly the same. Without the pelvis moving, I'm just going to sweep this hand out to the side. Watch your don't shift your pelvis here. Just the arm sweeps, and I can look to that hand, and then I'm going to come up tall again. So I'm exhaling, sweeping. I'm alternating from left to right. Inhale, tall. Exhale, sweep. and then crunch the abs to come tall. So I'm lengthening the rib and hip a little bit and then crunching. But because I am going with one hand to the side, it's getting the obliques a little bit more, not unilaterally, but one side different than the other, because that arm and head are heavy to the side you're looking to. Go one more time. Bring it up. Now this time, roll it to one side and stay here. Bring that hand to your head and rotate to the center, but don't lift up. Rotate open. Rotate to the center. Rotate open. Whew. Go two more. You're staying back there if you can. And one more. And on this one, rotate to the center. Sit tall, reach with both arms. Same thing other side. Make sure your ball didn't shift on you. Scoop and roll back. Opposite hand to the headline. Rotate open. Bring it back. Make sure you are scooped, right? This scoop is essential so the back doesn't get sore. And center. Stay rolled back. You've got three more. Knees aren't moving because the pelvis isn't moving. Last two. Last one. And all the way up. Beautiful. Shake out those legs. Recovery's yours, whatever direction you want to go. And then we are going to open up over this. So when we roll back this time, no rush, when you're ready, you're going to put the ball between your shoulder blades and gently come down on it. Now, if you are really tight through thoracic and neckline, you might need a pad underneath your head here. Otherwise, the knees are bent. I'm going to support my neck, elbows in tight so I can see in peripheral. And I'm just going to arch over the ball to feel a stretch. And then exhale, just find neutral. So I'm not rolling up, I'm just opening. Focus on the opening component of it versus the crunch up. Let your head be super heavy in your hands. And then bring it up. Now, if you're okay, we're going to keep the head back there. If that feels too much through your neckline and you're opening through the chest line, put a pad underneath your head. Otherwise, hands come off, and I'm going to snow angel and circle my arms. If my lower half is feeling comfortable, I'm going to stretch out my legs, which is going to open my body up even more. Inhale as the arms go over the head. Exhale as you snow angel round. One more time. Inhale, arms over the head. Exhale, circle around. Big breaths help the stretch. Switch directions. My palm is to the sky as I circle round, and then I make 11s or railway tracks as they come back. Again, too much compression here in your neck. Can't breathe smoothly. I need a pad underneath your head. Now on this one, if your head needs support, you'll slide your hands underneath your neckline. If not, keep your arms reaching. Bring the arms up in 11s. When they're reaching to the sky, cervical nod, and come into a little crunch. So right here, I'm going to bend my knees briefly and push myself a little farther back. So the ball now is at the bottom of my shoulder blades, but it's not as far as my belly button. From here, I'm going to interlace my hands, and I'm just going to start a little marching action. So I'm going to march and open, crunch and open. So a little easier would be more of my upper back shoulders on the ball. A little harder is pushed the ball down farther on the spine, so when you lie back, the ball's not there to support you as much. Exhale, inhale. If this is working for you, you can straighten out those legs. And we're going to arch and curl or neutral to curl, depending on how the neck and the back are feeling. Go three more. 3. Exhale, 2. And 1. Leave the leg down there. Open that chest and let that have a little stretch. Nice big breath here, you guys. One more big breath. Bring the feet in, hook line so they're flat to the floor. Support your neck. Tuck your chin in. Push yourself so the ball goes down your spine more, and that allows you to roll up off your ball. Yeah, beautiful. Grab that ball, bring it around, put it between your inner thigh, just between your knees, and then use that just to fold yourself down. So we're going to do some toe taps and stabilization here. Use your ball, lift up your hips, no headrest if you have one, and find the ball underneath your sacrum. So I don't want it in my lower back causing this big arch, but I also don't want it shooting out my butt end causing me to round my spine in flexion. It's underneath the sacrum, fairly strong. And then I'm going to put middle finger, ASI's, thumbs, ribs. If I know I'm fairly lordotic, excessively lordotic, means big curve, big arch, or I know I get really sore in that lower back quickly, I'm going to hold a supported pelvis, which is my ribs closer to my hips. If I'm feeling good, I'm going to stay more neutral. Both are accurate. Knee fold one leg, knee fold the other. Now, if you don't feel balanced, make sure that ball is in the center of your sacrum. A little easier is knees in tighter. Knees right out, hips right out from your knee at 90 is a little harder. And then starting with your legs a little farther away is called long tabletop, even harder. You can choose it. From here, I'm going to toe tap one foot down and then drag it up. And then exhale, toe tap the other foot. Inhale, drag it up. Now, as you're doing this, notice how this leg that isn't moving wants to come in closer. Nice brick wall in front of your quads. If you're able to, hands come off and they go just reaching on your quad, so you're not letting those legs come in closer than 90. If it's still working for you, you can reach one leg long and pull it in, and then reach the other leg. I like a point and flex just so my feet don't get crampy, totally up to you. I could also let my heel touch down. Careful if you're letting your heel touch, that's a hip extension occurring and not pelvis going into extension. And then if that's working nicely for you and you'd like to add the arms reaching above the head, really focus on keeping the ribs connected down. So any of those options are workable here. The objective is no movement through your rib cage. Keep it nice and solid. So the relationship between your pelvis and your ribs stays consistent. Finish one last one, and then we're going to do a double toe tap for a slow count to 3. We're going to go down, 2, don't bend the knees, move from your hips, and then drag it up slowly, 2, 3. Do you have to touch the feet down? Absolutely not. If you feel a shifting in your pelvis, you don't want to touch down or you want to think zippering tighter. Right? So you're compromising that stability through your torso, and that's the workload here. If you are able to touch down, are both either heels or toes touching at the same time? And if that's still working for you, arms can go over the head, loading the spine with your body, and then unloading, bringing it in. Still working for you, legs can go straight. Yes, they can touch as long as the extension is coming from the hip socket, not the pelvis going into an anterior tilt. Go 2 more. Draw those abs in strong. Out, 2, 3, and in, 2, 3. One more of whatever you chose, guys. Out, 2, 3. Really stabilizing strong. In, 2, 3. Knee fold one leg down, knee fold the other. Lift your hips and go ahead and let your hips drop. Now, if you want to just slide that ball underneath the nook of the neck, reach your arms out and give me some nice little windshield washers, go ahead. So I'm just spinning my hips. As I spin, I'm looking for internal rotation of the hip and socket, but I'm also going to push up on my hip a little bit to feel a hip flexor stretch. And then the other side. So I'm looking for hip mobility and a little bit of spinning left and right. And then we're going to get a little deeper into one of the stretches for rotation. So straighten out your right leg, bring up your left leg, put the right hand on the outside of the left knee, and over you go. Let that back have a little rotational stretch. If this feels good, I can reach that leg in and out a little bit. And that, as the leg goes away from my body, it'll pull my back into a deeper rotation. If that doesn't feel good, don't do it. And then slowly derotate, square off your hips again, straighten out the left, bring up the right, left hand on the right knee, over you go. You might find one side is much tighter than the other, it's not unusual. Usually if the hip is tight, that side on your lower back is also a little funky. As you increase the inhale, exhale, that will help with the stretch. and then hold the knee in, de-rotate all the way. Take that ball and now go ahead and bring it to the butt end. So we're going to do shoulder bridge. I am going to do it in neutral, so it will be shoulder bridge, not hip rolls. If you want to use the ball, it's going to make it much more difficult. You don't have to. No headrest. Head goes down. And then I'm going to find that ball between kind of my heels. And then I'm going to walk it out just a little bit so it's right out in the middle of my pubic bone. I'm going to let my feet just gently wrap around. Try not to activate your toes by lifting. Your shins are going to get really sore really fast. Relax that, your shin muscle. And then your knees are going to come towards each other. They don't have to be closed, but towards each other. Think of pushing now the sole of your foot down into the ball and then let it relax off. So try and think of compressing the ball down to the earth and squishing the air out of it, which obviously you can't do, and then let it come up. As you squish, you should feel your hamstrings and your glutes turn on. You've already got those abs turned on. They're ready to work here. You can be in a neutral spine, neutral pelvis, or a slightly supported spine, whatever feels, or pelvis, should I say, whatever feels more comfortable for you. My elbows are touching down. Now, put that pressure into the ball with your feet and power your hips up. And then bring those hips back down, almost to the floor, but not quite. So I'm not curling and hip rolling. I am just pressing up like a bridge. So the distance between my ribs and my hips is not changing at all as I press. And bring it down. Tuck your chin in a little bit so your neck is long. If you're okay, reach the arms to the sky, but keep a shelf behind your shoulders. So don't overreach. It's a gentle reach. The shelf on your shoulders actually is assisting your stability. Hold it up here where you feel challenged and comfortable. If the lower back's kicking in, drop a bit and give me a bit more supported pelvis versus neutral pelvis. So from here, I'm going to open and close the arms, which is just going to throw my stability off a little bit. Now, if that's working for me, my legs are going to copy. I'm going to open my legs. As I open my legs, I'm going to lower my bum a bit. It flirts. And then squeeze my knees together as I come up. So both the arms and the legs now are going into butterfly pattern. Open and close. Inhale down, squeeze the booty and lift. So when you come up, you should get a deeper squeeze. If you can get those knees right together, do so. If your hips don't invite it, don't do it. If your hamstrings are cramping, put your feet on the floor, not on the ball. Now leave your knees squeezing together, your arms in prayer to the sky, and squeeze your little butt cheeks on and off, pulsing up slightly. Let's go for 5, 4, 3, 2, open the legs, peel the spine down. Beautiful, you guys. Bring that ball in closer and put your sacrum on it, but a little bit more towards your tailbone this time. So the ball is punching out the butt a bit. So when you bring your knees up for happy baby, you're actually in a little bit of a rounded lower part of your back. If you can grab your toes, go ahead. If you can't, just grab your legs or even your pants, whatever you're wearing. Or I could go through my knees and just pull down on my hips. If this feels good, you can straighten and bend the legs, point and flex the feet, whatever feels comfortable. If you're really unstable, keep your elbow down. So I am in a posterior tilt. My tailbone is lifted higher than my belly button, and I'm just stretching those legs. If it feels okay, bring those legs in tighter. Nice big breath here, and then fold one leg down, fold the other leg down. So without the ball in the hands, in the sacrum or underneath the feet this time, hold the ball in your hands. Find your feet in parallel sits bones. Bridge up. So we're going to go into marching. We're going to go into bridge, shoulder bridge 2. We're going to march one leg and then bring it down and then march the other leg and bring it down. Now if that's working and you feel you're using your triceps pushing down into the floor to stop your hips from swinging, see if you can bring your arms up, reaching to the sky with that ball. So I'm going to knee fold up and down. And I'm just going from left to right. If you really feel you're shifting, lower down a bit, maybe a little bit more tilt in your pelvis, and really focus on when you lift the right leg, the left rib hip connection has to tighten up. And then when you lift the left leg, the right side has to tighten up. So make sure your butt and your hamstring are turned on, and then the oblique line on that same side are turned on before you lift the leg. Now go ahead, let's keep that left leg up in the air, and I'm just going to toe tap it down or full hip extension. If it's working for you, you can add the arms. As this leg lowers, watch you're not tilting your pelvis to achieve the movement in the hip, that the movement is coming from hip extension. And then inhale, exhale. Let's go 4 and 3. Squeeze that button, push your hips up. Last 2 and 1. Now hold everything reaching to the sky. A little harder, that leg reaches away. And just think, turn that glute, squeeze it a bit tighter, release it a little bit. Squeeze it, release it. So it's not a big thrust, it's just that turn on and off of that glute. 4, 3, 2, 1, the foot goes down. Without lowering the booty, unless you need to, go ahead and bring the other leg up. Start with the toe tap. Working for you, start with the knee and hip extension. Still working for you, add the full hip extension with the straight leg. Still working for you, add those arms moving. As we add more body parts to the exercise, it's obviously going to get harder. We don't want to sacrifice that stabilization through the core. That is always your priority, right? Exhale, inhale. So if you start to kind of wave everywhere because you're adding body parts moving, either connect into that core a little deeper or take a body part out. Don't have everything moving. Now reaching to the sky, bent knee, straight leg harder, straight leg away harder, arms over the head even harder, and then squeeze that butt. Notice how this hip wants to rotate down. I'm going to really focus on pulling that up. So I've got to square up on my hip that I'm on. Squeeze the glute. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Foot down, booty down. Go ahead and get that little windshield washer going, guys. Let those knees sway from left to right. We're going to go into a little bit of side leg lift series. So some just traditional movements tonight or today. Go ahead and reach one arm long and just roll right over onto your side. So I'm right along the edge of my mat. It's just the easiest way to kind of track if I'm staying straight. Ball is going to make this more aggressive. You don't have to use it. If I can't put my hand here, I'm going to bring my hand here and I'm going to rest my head on the ball. This is a more comfortable position than kinked like this. This is really non-optional. That's just too aggressive. If I want to use my ball for my feet, I could put a block underneath there. So harder on this exercise is to let your ball completely run away, is to put your lateral malleolus pushing down actively into the ball. This does work the lower back more aggressively because now I'm lifted slightly. So if you've got a funky back going on today, I'm going to suggest that you bring the knee here, anchor your toe, or reach the leg flat on the floor, not lifted on the ball. From here, abs engaged, and I'm going to lift and lower that top leg. Notice if the leg is coming super high. That probably means you're rolling back on your booty and you're using more quad and hip flexor. Turn the knee and the hip so it stays facing the side of the room. There will be less movement that you have. But that's okay, because this is glute me, glute min. I don't want to get hip flexor and quad. So if you're feeling the front here, you're rotating open. Go 3 more. Keep your hips forward. 2 more. And 1. Now hold it here and give me little circles. So again, rib, rib, hip, hip, stay square. And I'm just circling back and forward. If you need your hand down, you can place it. Draw your abs in. Now circle the other way for 5, 4, nice and concentrated, 3, last 2. Now this leg is going to go up and behind the other leg. And then I'm going to point it down and have it go in front of the other leg. My hand is going to go down because this is going to cause a little bit of shifting forward and backwards. So you can flirt that hand down. So I'm going to point the toe down and be an internal rotation as I touch down, and then point the toe to the sky and press behind my body. Now stay in the behind. Stay in the behind. Move that ball forward. Grab it with both feet and spin it around. If you're not using the ball, you just put your feet together. Lift, lower. Hand off is harder. Arm reaching is even harder. 5, squeeze those inner thighs. 4, use those oblique muscles. 3, 2, and now hold it up there as high as you can. Pull those abs in. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lower it. Bend the knees and bring them forward a little bit. Take that ball, shift it into the knee joint. Perfect. So my feet didn't collapse. They're still apart. So I'm having to work the hip muscle to keep my feet apart, even though the ball's in my knees. I'm going to scoop and do a half sit-up here. Rolling into half sit-up. And then I'm going to roll back down onto my side. I'm going to do a half sit-up and roll onto my side. Now if I've got that, it's like, yep, got the movement. I could put that into my ankle bones, and then as I roll, I could straighten the legs or keep them bent and come into my teaser here. Optional, optional. And then reach and long. Scoop the abdominals and roll. So I'm either doing that lower position, just staying down low, or I'm coming a little higher. Make sure it's the articulation of the spine getting you there. So scoop here. Top rib hip comes closer. Bottom rib hip comes closer. And I square myself. And then I reach. This is closer here. And then this one intensifies. And then I lengthen long. One more time. Scoop. Hold here for a moment. Bend those knees. And shift into your mermaid position just for a little stretch. Place the ball somewhere you're not going to lose it. I'm going to keep it in my hand. This hand is going to the floor, and I'm just going to shift this hip a little bit. Get a little shifting. If your knee doesn't like this, you can have your legs straight and still get your shifting. It's still going to work. If you're feeling okay, you're going to lift open and bring it down. Exhale, lift open and bring it down. One more time. Lift open, bring it down, and then just take your legs, spin them to the other side, that entire sequence. We're lying long on this side. Lie it long, so it's either the ball here, knee bent, anchored, reaching, or that ball is under your lateral malleolus, that outside of your ankle bone, and they're lying straight on the edge here. From here, we're going to start that lift lower. So remember, if you're lifting way up here, you physically had to have rotated and leaned back on your booty. The leg can't go there using glute me, glute min. It doesn't work. That's not what the muscles do. And I want to work that side butt cheek here. That muscle, that set of muscles working together, push down into the ball a little bit with your bottom leg, guys. That glute me, glute min, TFL kind of conjunction of muscles stabilizes the hip in its socket, and it also stabilizes the knee joint. That's super, super important. From here, go to your circles. If you need your fingertips down, go ahead. Otherwise, really making sure as you push back, you're not arching, and as you come forward, you're not flexing the spine. The hip is just circling. Now, when you're ready, circle the other way. I'm a little wobbly today on this side. Let's go 4, whoo, really wobbly. 3, I'm going to put my fingertips down and decrease my motion. 2 and 1. Now reaching long, I'm going to internally rotate, touch down, and then heel towards the floor, touch down. I may not get the touchdown, right? That just depends on flexibility in the joint movement pattern, as well as your strength of keeping your core nice and tight. Inhale, exhale. So in the back, I can't touch. Not a big deal. So I'm going to take it behind this time, move my front foot forward, grab that ball between my feet and spin, and then lift lower. Lift lower. If you can take your hand off, go ahead and reach it to the sky. 5, 4, pull your core in tight. 3, 2, hold it up there. Squeeze those inner thighs on that ball. 4, 3, shift the shoulder into your back pocket. 2, and 1. And then bend those knees and bring the ball into the knee. If your feet are just kind of relaxed, bring it up. And notice as you bring it up, the glute me, glute min had to turn on to achieve that. Here, it's totally relaxed. Here, the butt's turned on. Then I'm going to scoop, and I'm going to come into that half teaser. Like just a half roll up. And then the arm sweeps, and I come down. Go again. Exhale, sweep to here. We've got that crunch, and then sweep to come out. Working for you, the feet come off, right? So you got to engage deeper, and you're going to sweep to bring those feet off and hold. Sweep and go long. Working for you, we want to come higher with straight legs. Ball between the inner thigh, lateral or in medial malleolus. And then sweep and come up. Legs can be straight or bent. Hold. And then sweep and go long. Now, if you're using momentum to swing you up, go back to the previous stepping stone so that it's not momentum that's getting you into this position, that it's the movement of the muscles and the joints, not the momentum. One more time. Stay in the up position. Nice big breath. Grab that ball. Find yourself in your mermaid. Beautiful. Little bit of hip movement here. So we're going to just kind of lift that hip and lower it. If that's working for you, we're going to add the reach. Over it goes and down. Over it goes. Your range is your own. You decide where it's going to go today. One more time. And then all the way down. So we're going to go into our extension. The ball's just going to the front. Roll over onto your tummies. If you're incredibly excessively lordotic, you might want to pat underneath the pubic bone and the ASIS. The ball is going to make this more aggressive. So if you know extension's tough for you in the lower back, you don't want to use the ball. Don't force what's not happening. From here, I'm just going to start with a floppy. Just watch your ball doesn't run away. So hands together, forehead into the hands. And I'm just going to wiggle that booty from left to right, feeling that lower back release. I want to try and find myself in the center of my mat-ish, and then find the heels into the bum. Lift your hips a little bit, or your quads, and then laterally rotate to actively reach out. And then a little spinning from left to right here. Inhale, exhale. Beautiful. So from this position, sneak your hands beside you. Engage the abs just a little bit. Don't overdo it. Just a little bit. Push the marble. And I just want you to come up into a little bit of a swan. Just to feel the stretch in the abs and the stretch into the hip flexors. And gently come down. Now, if that felt good, inch from your hands back a little bit. Make sure your elbows don't come up and it's not a push-up. The back muscles, by creeping into your back pocket, lengthen your spine into extension. If I'm lifting my pubic bone, I'm basically just doing a really awkward looking push-up. And there's no extension happening in my spine. This is extension, right? So you want to feel that nice extension. You're drawing the abs in a little bit so you don't overdo that lower back. One more time. Lengthen it up. Nice big breath. No tension in your neck. Watch you're not flaring out to the side. And then come down just a little bit. Find your hands underneath. If it's not aggressive, the ball goes into the xiphoid process. If you're not using a squishy ball, you're not going to do this in the xiphoid process. It has to be a squishy ball. Right into the xiphoid process is going to be a little bit more challenging. Higher up the sternum bone is going to be a little more forgiving because then I don't start it as big of an extension. I definitely have a lateral rotation going on in my hips. And I'm going to start in forward flexion of the spine and thoracic. In that forward flexion, I'm doing breaststroke. I'm going to reach the arms forward here. They're going to take my pinkies, and as I lengthen into either neutral or extension, I'm going to reach my fingers down to my sides. Abs definitely drawn in to assist here. Thumbs to shoulders, but not aggressively, right? Exhale, a little bit of flexion and dive. Inhale, 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 inhale. If the lower back is feeling okay, straighten your knees, squeeze your glutes, and maybe lift those legs off a little bit. Thumbs to shoulders, everything lowers down, but staying connected, and dive. Inhale as we lengthen into our breaststroke. Watch the necks, not overdoing it. Thumbs to shoulders, exhale and dive. Let's go 2 more. Inhale, holding this nice long position. Thumbs to shoulders. Exhale, dive. You've got 1 more, you guys. Hold this extension position here. If that's getting aggressive, lower the legs or maybe lower the spine a bit. If you're okay, stay with the shoulders gently retracted, the legs lifting. Turn your palms to the sky and reach through the shoulder girdle. Exhale, inhale. 5, try and straighten out your knee joint. 4, as you straighten the knee, your glute will turn on better. 2, and 1, sweep the hands in front. Push back either just into a child's pose, nice and open, or sitting nice and tall. Whatever recovery or reset feels good for you, you guys. Give that head a little no. So the neckline extensors are working. All the way through the back is working on those exercises. So we just want to relax those out a little bit. Give a little no through everything. So we're just going to get that nice little stretch going. We're going to go up into a down dog, stretch out that posterior line. So go ahead and get rid of your ball. Hands strong, curl the toes, sink back and stretch out those feet because they were just working. You can be rounded here, you can be neutral. When you're ready, press and up you come. Find that nice strong position to prance. Paw at that floor. Shift your shoulders away from your ears. And then if you're able to, both heels stay flat to the floor. Too difficult, lift the heels, bend the knees. And sink more now into the shoulder girdle. Let your head dangle at the top of its spine so it's relaxed. So I'm not looking at the floor here. I'm just letting my spine be. And then kind of find a bit more power. So if you're sinking, find a bit more power and walk back. 4, bend the knees if you need to. 3, all the way in on 2 and 1. I'm going to heel toe as wide as my mat is. Bring my elbows to my knees. Let my head drop and I'm going to find ragdoll. Now if you like unsupported ragdoll, go ahead. I just have a tendency to like to support my ragdoll with my elbows on my knees. If you have a miffy back, unsupported forward flexion is about as hard as it gets on the back. So if you're not liking this position at all, definitely elbows on the knees, the quad, or not at all, just come right up. And then slowly peel it up. Forward flexion unsupported is not for everybody's body. Truly not. If you've had herniations, sciaticas, those kind of things, or they're all a little flared up, unsupported forward flexion's not your friend. Inhale, lift for the majority of people. There's a few people that might be flexion responders. Most are not when they've had those kind of injuries. Generally speaking, not a rule of thumb. Inhale, not always the case. Hands down center heart, little no in the neckline. And we are done.